What's up, y'all? So it's been a week since the election, and everybody is uh, really settling in on how they're feeling, how they're going to move forward from everything that we've learned from the polling, from the data, and what we expect to move forward. One thing that you are going to hear a lot of is uh, Democratic strategists and pundits and politicians talking about what went wrong with the Harris campaign, what went wrong with Harris herself, but also what went wrong with the Democratic Party. And I think there is plenty of room for critique. There's plenty of room for critique on Harris, on the party, on the reasons why so many people felt as though Trump was the best candidate. But I think one reason that should not be overlooked, and it's probably the top reason, is the type of party that the country has decided to follow, and that will be the Republican Party. I mean, the Republican Party does not make any mistake of showing exactly who they are. So they are a party of fascists, of bigots, of racists, of sexists, of all of those, um, all of those discriminatory factors that come in with with a country, and specifically a party that is built on principles of white supremacy. That is something that's probably not going to be talked about often because it is something that is still uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable to rationalize and realize that a vast majority of our country is okay with following fascists, okay with following sexists, okay with following people who are bigots, who are racist, that more than half of the country is okay with that. More than half of the country has no boundaries. They don't have any sense of morals or ethics or values or anything of that nature. That when when you talk about who needs to represent you, represent the country, represents your ideals, if your ideals if your ideals align with the Republican Party, with being a fascist, racist, sexist, misogynistic, bigots, if your personal ideals align with that, then the choice was very, very, very easy for you to choose those folks who, at the very least, have that type of core, and that type of core is a core that can possibly do some things for you, for your group, steer some things in your direction, and that is how you voted. Other folks may have voted because of this proximity to white supremacy that they want to be connected to, that they want to have a connection to the overall idea and the benefits of a white supremacist patriarch society. But you're not really gonna hear that. You're gonna hear that from some of our folks, some of our black folks who understand uh what this is, who understand where we are going. There's no other way to even um give a lot of validity to the other reasons. And the reason why I say that is because poor people are poor. Poor people have been poor for forever. That's how the system works. We live in a capitalistic society that there is going to be poor people. So poor people being frustrated is not something that is new. Poor people have always been frustrated with the system. But what is new is how poor people have even uh, have come to an understanding, an idea of how this system works. And the system is really just built on power. that's built on power. When you hear folks talk about the message that the Democrats were not able to drive home the message, it's pretty kind of ironic that um, the message of inflation, the message of a bad economy, the message of high food prices, the message of high gas prices, that those messages were able to be relayed effectively, by the Republican Party. Um, however, those conditions have changed drastically. We no longer have high prices. We no longer have high gas prices. We no longer have a bad economy. So um, there's a message, and then there is wanting to receive the message. And as many times as you tell people that the economy is not bad, the economy is not bad. If that's the message, if the message that people want to hear and the message that people want to use as their rallying cry, as they squint their eyes to try to find uh something to be upset with, something to be outraged. If you are someone who took a vacation in the last 3 years, the economy is not terrible for you. If you are a person who has the ability to take your family out, um, periodically, the economy is not terrible for you. So when it's like the Democrats couldn't reach the working class, I don't I think at this junction in the country, the working class does not want to be reached. The working class knows what knows where they are, knows where their position is at in the country. They're not rich, they're not poor, they are middle class, working class. So the changes that they are actually even complaining about are changes that aren't really measurable. We're talking about hundreds of dollars, maybe. This is what we're talking about. And if you're making your decisions on the people that represent you based on factors of $100 or more, or a little bit here, a little bit there, um, I think we can all agree that other things are driving these, other things are driving these choices. And when you look at the economy, it's hard to imagine that people um realistically and honestly uh have an issue with the economy. The example that I give some folks is, people say Barack Obama was terrible. People have not a lot of good things to say about Barack Obama. However, the numbers in the study show that Barack Obama had probably one of the best economies in history. So if it is about economy, if it's about the economy, then people would hold Barack Obama in a much higher place than they do. If it's about how much money that you bring home, if it's about these things that people say matters, if these things really mattered, then someone like Barack Obama would be one of the most celebrated presidents ever. The same way that people talk about Trump's economy, they should be talking about Barack Obama's economy times 10. His economy, you know, outdid most economies outside of actually the economy that we're in. But Barack Obama does not get the type of grace, does not get the type of praise for his amazing economy, which, fast forward to today, makes me realize that it cannot be about the economy. It cannot be about what people are bringing home. It has to be some other reason. And when the proof, the data, the actual everyday going outside and seeing that the economy is much better than when it was 2 years ago. But also, if someone can grasp that, and I hate the argument that folks are just not educated, that folks are not getting the proper message. I hate that argument because if you can receive the argument that the economy is bad, then you can receive the argument that the economy is good. It just the only thing that matters is what part of that argument or what part of that message you want to hear, you want to receive. And even that message is actually going against your own eyeballs. If you go and look at gas prices are extremely low. Gas prices are in the high twos, mid twos everywhere. It's rare that you see even gas in the threes. So you're going against your own eyeballs when you say that you have questions about the economy or you are not um you're not confident with how the country is moving forward. And those are the types of things to me that point to it being other reasons why people make these choices. It's not a dollars and cents choice. Like I said, Barack Obama will be revered, and he's not. He's not revered by pretty much anyone. I mean, it's a hardcore, maybe some hardcore black people, love Barack Obama. But for the most part, Barack Obama is just trash. Barack Obama is said to have been a terrible president, and he had a great economy. So it's not about the economy. It's not about conflict abroad. Um, any person that even even slightly cares about conflict abroad has to understand that the United States of America is the biggest colonial settler superpower that the world has ever seen. So conflict comes with being um, the United States of America. It is a colonial settler, imperial empire. So the United States have been in or connected to overseas wars and dramas forever. Overseas wars and dramas forever. It didn't start with Biden. It didn't stop with Trump. There's a misconception that there was no conflict under Trump. There's conflicts all throughout the world. There was conflicts in the Middle East. So it's just and some of that conflict we even did ourselves. We assassinated Iranian generals and all kinds of stuff. And you can have whatever kind of opinion you have about the United States and them participating in conflicts abroad. But what you can't do is you cannot pretend that there were no conflicts under Donald Trump. You cannot we cannot live in make believe. We cannot live in an alternative reality. And we cannot live in an alternative reality that says that this is a product of our country. This is a product of our country. We have foreign interests, and we're always going to have foreign interests. It's just a matter of how big or small. We're always going to have foreign interests. So all these things have been constants. They've been constants for the last 100 years. Constants for the last 100 years. But the most constant thing is this connection to white supremacy, this connection to a party that promotes, and I say promotes bigotry, promotes racism, promotes sexism, promotes misogynistic uh, attitudes. It promotes this. And if you're connected to this, then you promote this too. And there's no level of in inaction, inactivity that can compete with a party that is driven on these horrible, terrible ideals. So, like I said, you're not gonna hear too many people talk. You're not gonna hear too many people talk about this. You're not gonna hear too many people really, really call the country out for what it is. Call the country out for what it is, because however great you think that Donald Trump is with the economy, if you are overlooking that, because if you're overlooking who he is as a person, the myriad of things that he's done that would disqualify him, the thousands and thousands of lies, that blatant lies that he's said. I mean, you know, people say politicians lie. Yeah, politicians lie, and then it's Trump. And Trump lies like no one else. Trump lies like it's a language. He just says stuff and, you know, just repeats it, repeats it. It can be, you know, a lie that's been refuted. He just repeats it and repeats it and repeats it. So anyone that anyone that chose to follow that leadership, that party, to put your vote with those people, uh that means that you accept that that type of behavior is a behavior that you would accept. That's the type of behavior that you feel as though is a behavior that can push our country into a better place. Now, if this is what you believe, um, I mean, you have you have gotten your wish. I mean, you have gotten Trump. And we will see how Trump behaves. We will see the people that Trump put in in his cabinet positions and all of his different positions, and then we will see. But it's clear to me, and it should be clear to it should be clear to most people, but it's certainly clear to me that this election was not decided because the Democrats just did not have policies or ideals or things that people wanted to hear, or that the message was not being sent out effectively. It was lost because this country is full of racist, misogynistic, sexist. Um, the country is full of them, and for those that will disregard that for whatever type of small gains, means that you are providing a cover to those who are racist, sexist, um, bigots, and all of those types of negative, fraudulent liars, all of these types of negative, um, all of these types of negative behaviors that in normal life we wouldn't accept, but we accept this, from the Republican Party. So I just wanted to give this 1 week update, just on some of the things that I've seen, some of the people that I've heard talk. Um, it's quite sad that this is where the country is going. However, us that are in the fight, we're gonna keep fighting and keep putting this message, but we're not gonna act like these decisions were policy based. We're not gonna act like these decisions was based on people who didn't have as much as they had 4 years ago. That's not even close. It's not even close, and by any metric, we're not talking about individual anecdotes, but by any metric, because we have to use the same metrics. We have to use the same metric that we use to say that the economy was bad. You by the same metrics, the economy is very good. So it's not about that. We can stop saying that it's about the economy. It's absolutely not. It's absolutely not about the economy. It is about the country. The country going in a direction that some people wanted to go in that direction. But the country is going into the direction of a party that just outright promotes anarchy, destruction, um, bigotry, lying, cheating, fraud, all of these things. So I'm going to leave y'all to it. Hopefully, you guys will see this video. Like if this video is something that you want to see more often, subscribe, hit the button, and comment. Let me know how you think. Let me know if you agree or you disagree. But like I said, this is not the conversation that you're gonna hear, because most of the country does not want to face what is pretty obvious, that we have a lot of bias and a lot of discriminatory practices. We have a lot of discrimination, and this election is totally a microcosm on what we have in this country. So I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.